So the second slide, what I want to show you today, or the third part, this is now, it's the joint working group safety over OPC UA. And it's also something quite huge and new, I would say. Because what are the safety cases? I'm talking not security, I'm talking the yellow safety. I'm talking about safety. The fault model, the cyclic watchdog, all the things which you need to handle, and you have today different vendors, different implementation. You know, you have the yellow part, which needs always TÜV approved or something like that. And we was looking a long time around, could we not unify that also in a way that it fits for every company? So there was then one or some initiative was with the Profinet international organization together with OPC Foundation, together with the EtherCAT safety guys, with, I don't know, was a lot of safety people and persons from different vendors. And they said, yeah, okay, I mean, why Profinet is not open? That means open, that everybody can implement the safety features and things. And then we would try to make that as a standard together. And that was the way on it with the safety cases, the key features for the safety over OPC UA. This means you can use either OPC UA client or OPC UA server. You can also use PubSub, and later on, maybe if somebody is implementing it, you can also those using with PubSub and TSN together. You can do it unidirectional, bidirectional, and of course also a multicast communication patterns. This is for UDP. Arbitrary network technology, line, tree, star, ring, whatever you want to, can be implemented with this technology. And I'm talking not with the Profinet, I'm talking now with Profinet over OPC UA technology. That means you have OPC UA as a basic communication, and the safety things are just on top of it. Dynamic establishment, of course, no requirements on regular network participants, and no need for synchronized clocks. That's also a very important thing, that you do not need to synchronize your clocks on two devices. That costs always a lot of effort, that you just can use not synchronized clocks. Then, of course, unlimited number of network components and terminals, and unlimited data rate. That's not really true. Unlimited, if you see in the case from today's things, because today you can have 8 bytes, now you can have 1,500 bytes with those implementation, but still a lot more. Just to show you also the scope of the specification, you see a little bit on the right side. The safety over OPC UA is the yellow part, the state machine, and the gray part is a so-called OPC UA mapper, and also you have it for client server on the left side, and the gray part also an OPC UA mapper for PubSub. The content is there, the protocol data unit, state machine, parameters, diagnostic messages, and of course defined services. You can be a provider or just the consumer of those data. And of course there's the orange lines up and down, has nothing to do with safety. This is your safety application, vendor specific. From the network layering, again, I show you here on the right side, the so-called gray or black channels. Say changes here do not require a recertification. The yellow thing, if it's changed, and this was always the problem, the yellow thing was really certified on different vendors, needed to certify all those things. And that's not anymore the case, because if you use OPC Foundation, safety over OPC UA, then it's done for you, and yeah, you can benefit from that. And the invocation, for example, with the normal client server here done, you see here also we say using methods to invocate the safety over OPC UA method is sent to the other partner. He can make all the calculation, give a result back. Then the starting application makes the calculation and those going further back. Also the dynamic connection establishment. That means before, if you had some safety thing or safety ring or safety line, whatever, and you wanted to integrate another device in the safety line, mostly you had to interrupt your safety. That means you have to stop your whole line, has to integrate those things and start up your whole line again. With safety over OPC UA, that's not it anymore necessary. That means you can bring a new device. All the recalculations are done for the other devices, and you do not need to shut down your line if you want to integrate like a safety camera or emergency stop or whatever. From the timeline here, do I still have time? From the timeline here, the version 1, publication end of October. This means this year, end of October, not next year or not last year, it's this year. Sorry, there is missing the date. But there is controller only, not controller to device or controller to the field. It's just controller to controller. Like, for example, a Beckhoff could then, with a Siemens PLC, make the safety thing. And it's client server today only because PubSub is not widely developed at the moment. I mean, it's developed, but not so widely. The runtime communication only and no parameterization. This is for the version 1, but this will be publicated end of October. And the current and future work is, of course, test specifications, mapper for PubSub, and extension to controller device, optional services, and of course, the parameterization. This will be from the timeline. We believe it will be 1 year from now on. That means it will be 2020 in October, so we'll have settled that, and yeah, maybe next year we see each other again. I can say, that's done now, the work. So the summary of all of this is OPC UA safety, functional safe communication over OPC UA. From the key features, significant increase of data, as a user data, dynamic establishment of connections, run over layer 3 networks, so it's IP layer it's running, and the version 1 will be released end of October, I said already, and TÜV approval, of course, is in work. It cannot be done, the TÜV approval, before the final release of the specification, but it's a natural way. If you have not a released specification, no TÜV approval possible. And if somebody will be in the SPS IPC Drives 2019, this year in Nuremberg, a nice demo will be presented at the PI booth in Hall 7, I believe. So, I said it in words before, the connection topologies, unidirectional, bidirectional, multicast, how they work. That means provider consumer for the unidirectional is quite easy. For the bidirectional connection, you need client, server, means always the opposite way. And say working on the multicast at the moment that you have one or several providers using sending data to several consumers, also the unidirectional way, but one to many, more or less. Yeah, that's from my side. And Max Walder at Siemens.com is the contact person if you have ideas for the working group. If you want to work at this working group, whatever, contact him about. He knows everything about safety over OPC UA. Thank you.